Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the Paragon Gauntlet. I'm going through each of the bosses, and I've decided to bring with me all of the Spirits of Vengeance in the contest, because what's pretty darn neat, guys, just so you remember, when you're doing the objective here, you don't have to have Saga champions, so you can use any champions that you'd like. The only restriction is that you don't use the switch nodes to change out your champions. So just use whoever it is you're going to want to use, but stick to those 3 champions, and you'll get that objective completed. So what's pretty neat, at least the reason I'm doing this, I think the Paragon Gauntlets are fun, and I'm kind of glad that they removed the objective of using just Saga champions, not because it was particularly difficult in any way, but I just feel like in this game, one of the funnest parts of the game, in my opinion, is being able to use the champions that you like, the Marvel characters that you enjoy, even if they're not that great, right? So to be able to use those champions is a ton of fun. So like using a team like this, if this challenge was any more difficult, I might not have brought along the other Ghost Rider, but they made it simple enough to where they can be handled with just a few champions. And to be honest with you, let's talk about this fight right here with Agent Venom. You can use anybody. Really, you're just fighting Agent Venom with a couple of changes. So for example, you're rooted whenever he throws a special attack. That's one change. And then you've just got to worry about the Mercy node, which are those green hearts. You just build those up by using dexterity, and then you put them on the opponent when you parry him, and your specials will do more damage. So realistically, you can use anybody. So see how those timers are going down? That's what's going to let me do big damage here. Because, otherwise if you make it too restrictive, then you don't get to use champions you want. So that's just something to remember, is you can use anybody for this fight in particular. There's not too many restrictions, so that's nice. If you do have trouble with this one, good counters are Bishop. Big Special 2 has passive stuns for Agent Venom if he uses Tenacity. Otherwise, anybody can fit the bill for this fight. And so, a lot of them I use Cosmic Ghost Rider for, but, again, it was just kind of fun to bring the Spirit of Vengeance team into the Paragon Gauntlet. I'm having a blast with that. So this one with the Green Goblin, the only changes to this fight that you need to be concerned about is that if you dash back kind of twice in a row, you'll give him a regen. So if you're using, I don't want to say these things are easy, right? Because it kind of depends on your progression level. So if you're using 6-star rank 3s or 5 stars that are maybe ascended, these things can be a little bit tougher. So I do want to explain some of those things. Always watch out for that special 2. It's got the most awkward dex time, just be ready for that. But so be wary of putting too many regens on him and dexing too much. Generally speaking, the timer doesn't last very long. So you should be okay, to like dex specials, for example. Like there's enough time between those 2 dexes right there that you don't have to worry about putting a regen on him. Otherwise, the fight pretty much goes as normal. I think I get a little overzealous here. I feel like I can finish it off, but I'm not close enough to the special 2 here with my power gain being reduced. So we eat a special 3. But again, with the bigger champions, it's not too bad. But those are the only things you got to be worried about. So, I'd love to hear what champions you guys are bringing in for these Paragon Gauntlets. Just having some fun, bringing who you'd like. This one especially has been nice. I remember the last months, there were a couple of the fights that you had to be a little bit more selective on. So, like, for example, here with this... Why am I forgetting his name? The Red Goblin here. You don't want to use a Mystic Champion, because every so often, every 10 seconds, he becomes immune to things like Nullify. Plus, with Kushala, this guy's Incinerate immune. I could have gone the Special 3 route, but still, I just wanted to stay away from the Nullify. So that's the only reason I kept going with Cosmic Ghost Rider here. Plus, Cosmic Ghost Rider's absolutely nasty, as I'm sure you all know. Just huge Special 2s, tons of damage with all those armor breaks. Makes for some pretty quick and easy fights, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. Other than this, he does have impact, so just watch out. His specials will do a little more damage through your block, but they're easily dexable, so those can be handled. You shouldn't be taking too many hits to your block. Now we're moving on to Anti-Venom, who's a fun one. This one's kind of interesting. The only thing that really changes here is you kind of want... You don't want to bring in Purify champions. So so I guess the last two fights are somewhat restrictive, just based on class. So don't bring in Purify champions, because every time you Purify a debuff, you receive basically an immediate amount of degen. So just like I'm doing right there, if you dex his special attacks, or like his special attacks don't make contact with you, it purifies a debuff off of you, and so you're forced to take some of that damage. So the real idea here is when he throws a special, just let him hit your block, and then the debuffs he inflicts on you don't go anywhere, and then you can handle the fight just fine, just like normal. Goodness, that one was huge. That's a big special too. So now we're getting into the new champions, and it's always cool. I do like this part. That's kind of why I'm a big fan of the event quests. It's something that's pretty relaxing that you can do, and then you get to kind of see the new champions. Even if they're attacker based, they kind of put some notes to make them a little bit tougher. But to be honest with you, these ones weren't too bad. So we brought in Kushala for this, just in case I wanted to nullify some buffs. I've recently duped my Kushala, which is a ton of fun. So that's been a lot of fun. Finally having duped Kushala as a 7-star. And by the way, guys, this fight is absolutely hilarious. I've never seen this happen before. Watch Scream get scared, basically right after this special too. And she's just gonna tick down. I have no idea why this happened, but I will totally take it. And that's the end of it. Super funny. So, I'll take that stuff all day. If the AI is going to be nice in a situation like that, gladly accept it. So now we've got Jack-o'-lantern as the final boss for the gauntlet. You can do anyone. The only things you got to watch out for during this fight in particular is that you can't intercept him. He'll just evade. And I do show that here in a second. So I go for the for the intercept. And he evades, but then you can just parry back. He's not too quick. But there's something to watch out for. Also, I'd stick to the special one. A lot easier to dex. It's just kind of a 1, 2, 3 timing. I think I messed one of them up, but then after that, it's not too bad. Like there. He also inflicts plasmas on you, which is interesting. So I know that when he's on attack, he'll use plasmas against mutants. I think it's Incinerate, or it's a mix of both. So Scream and Jack-o'-lantern appear to really be attacker focused, which is super nice. My goodness. And we've had so many defenders this year that having more attackers come into the contest, like Beta Ray Bill, Count Nefaria, Shathra, Jack-o'-lantern, and Scream, it's been great. It's a lot of fun to have people that you can actually use in your hands instead of just placing on defense. Because I think that's kind of the fun part of the game. It is fun having good defenders for certain scenarios like Alliance War or Battlegrounds, but attackers are where it's a blast, because that's who you actually get to use. So here's the rewards for completing the gauntlet. And then you also get, of course, the Ascension Dust from the objective. But that's the end of it, guys. I hope that helped you out. And good luck in the Battle Realm, my friends.